cycling through 15 countries and over 25,000 kilometers. And now I'm here in Iran. Look, I think there's bad people everywhere and you just get unlucky. That's just how it goes. So you just have to, recognize the risks. Hello, my name is David and I'm cycling around the world, from Australia to Northern Ireland. I've been on the road for over 19 months, cycling through 15 countries and over 25,000 kilometers. And now I'm here in Iran. I started cycling just over 10 years ago, so I was 26. My best friend in Australia cycled around Australia for 9 months back in university, and he told me about his adventures, and it really got me excited about traveling by bicycle. My first bike trip, the same friend I mentioned before, we cycled for 2 weeks through the desert of Central Australia, from a city called Adelaide to a small town in the middle of Australia called Alice Springs, and it was amazing. One of the best experiences of my life. I've travelled through 15 countries, so I started in my home country of Australia, then went to Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, China, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and now Iran. So after Iran, I'm going to go to Kurdistan, Iraq, then Turkey, Armenia, Georgia, and back to Turkey to head towards Europe, so Bulgaria, Greece, the Balkans, and then through the Alps, eventually getting to France, England, and then finishing my journey in Ireland. So far, the most challenging country has been India. It was very hot when I was there. It was summertime and very hot and very humid, which made it really difficult to cycle through. But it was also an amazing country. Amazing food, lovely people, lots of culture, and the nature was amazing too. As I mentioned, the weather in India was very, very hot and humid. But then, as sometimes happens to people when they travel in India, I got sick. I got a bad stomach, perhaps from food or bad water. So the heat and humidity combined with vomiting and nausea and diarrhea made it a really tough time. But thankfully it didn't last very long and I got better quickly. It's funny, but even though India was the hardest country, it was also probably the best country so far because of just how much diversity it had. The mountains of the Himalayas were mind-blowing. Yeah, look, sometimes, definitely some countries are worse than others. I have to say Central Asia had the worst drivers. Some crazy driving there, so especially when you get closer to the cities. But, it's okay. You can get unlucky, but you just take precautions and I even had a little mirror on the side of my bicycle so I can see the traffic behind me.
How does Iran?
Iran has been wonderful so far. I haven't seen much of the country, but I've met so many people already, and I've only been here for 5 days, and every day I'm meeting at least 10 people who ask me, what do I need? How can they help me? Where am I from? Welcome to Iran. Here, have this water, have this food. So it's been amazing.
Is Iran that you've seen BBC, you've seen another news?
No, not at all. But of course, what you see in the news is the government and all this sort of stuff. But before coming to Iran, anybody else I'd actually spoken to who'd been here too said the people were amazing. And so for that reason, I've been looking forward to coming to Iran the most.
How does another peoples of another countries meet you?
I've experienced kindness in every single country that I've traveled through so far. Yes, in some countries more than others, so my personal experience has been the less wealthy a country is, the more people are friendly and kind. And also I find in Muslim countries, people are more friendly and kind, which again goes against what you might hear on the news in Western countries where if you have a brain, they're only talking about some extreme people. I have met so many people around the world who've been wonderful, friendly, kind, generous, and it really makes me happy because there's a lot of goodness in humanity, especially when you see bad stuff on the news.
Okay, if you have a bad memorize or dangerous memorize in Iran, if you have?
No, none so far. And
Well, we can.
look, I think there's bad people everywhere, and you just get unlucky. Like I could have bad stuff happen to me in my own country of Australia. That's just how it goes. So you just have to, recognize the risks. But I think most people in this country, just like in most countries, are going to be really nice. No sponsors. If you want to sponsor me, please, please. It's actually a lot harder than I think most people. And if I have any sponsors, it's the people of the world, like I said. I do lots of different types of cycling. Obviously right now I'm bike touring, I'm a bike tourist. But back home in Melbourne, I probably primarily do road cycling. It's a great way to stay fit because you can do it a couple of times a week and get fitness from that. But then I also do a little bit of hardtail mountain biking, not so much downhill but cross country. And then I really enjoy off-road touring, so not just bike touring on bitumen roads, but getting into wild places that don't have much in the way of humanity and into nature. I think that's probably the best type of cycling for me.
What's your bike brand?
The bicycle that I'm cycling with at the moment is a Surly Ogre. So Surly's an American brand, and
Surly Ogre.
Surly Ogre, you know?
No.
It's a 29er full steel frame, no suspension, and running 2.6-inch wheels, or tires rather, tubeless, which is great for reliability. I also have a roll-off hub, which is a German internal gear hub with 14 gears.
14 gears.
14, and because it's an internal hub, I don't have to worry about the maintenance of a derailleur system, so that's been great.
You use the best wheelset and the best tire.
Yeah, when you're doing a trip like this, obviously, especially go to like remote places, you want to have gear that is durable and reliable. And the stuff I have is not the most expensive stuff. Like the bicycle itself is not that expensive, but it's just very dependable. But the wheels in particular, yeah, I've got really good wheels built by a really good bike shop in Australia.
Which way you camping in the road for others? Camping on natural, camping jungles, or no? Go to hotel, go to suites.
I've done it all. I've slept in mosques, I've slept in Buddhist temples in Thailand, I've slept on the top of a roof of a shack in India, I've stayed in hotels, hostels, and a lot of the time, depending on the country, but a lot of the time I actually stay with people I meet along the way, they just invite me. So for example, for the last 3 days in Mashhad, I've been staying with a new friend, Daniel, a guy I met again on the road here, and he just invited me to stay, so I've been staying with him for 3 days. But having said all that, I love camping too. So if you're in a very natural place, like the deserts of Australia were amazing because there's no people, and every night I was camping at beautiful sunsets, beautiful sunrises. Yeah, it was a really nice time. So in Iran, I think it's going to be maybe 50-50, staying with people and camping in nature. With hotels, I typically won't book a hotel unless I know that they can take my bicycle inside, because it's obviously safe for the bike, so that's usually not a problem. Border crossings can be a pain in the arse, yes. The worst one so far has been China, crossing from into China from Pakistan. They emptied every single bag, pocket, bag inside a bag, the whole bicycle was completely opened up and checked, and then I had to put it back in again, and it was quite frustrating. But this happens, this is just part of crossing borders. So most countries are pretty relaxed. For example, coming from Turkmenistan to Iran, nobody checked anything, I just went straight through. Half the world, or 2/3 of the world. So I'm cycling from Melbourne, Australia to Northern Ireland. So I was born in Northern Ireland, and I lived there for 17 years. And then my family moved to Melbourne when I was 17, and I've been living in Australia for 18 years. So now I'm cycling from my new home to my old home. No sponsors. If you want to sponsor me, please, please. But no, I did think about this before starting. It's actually a lot harder than I think most people realize to get sponsors, especially if you haven't done a big trip before. I just saved money. I was working as an engineer in Australia for 10 years, so I just saved the money I thought I would need for the trip. And if I have any sponsors, it's the people of the world. Like I said, I've experienced so much kindness and generosity, including at this bike shop where the staff have been really helpful, and you know, providing me with teas and dinner and all sorts of stuff for free. So amazing. Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. And I'd also like to say, if you have a dream about cycling, definitely make it happen because it is truly amazing.
You service your bike in the roads and in the travels.
For sure, I mean, because a lot of the time I've been in quite remote places where there's no bike shops or they might not have the parts that I need. So again, I chose components that wouldn't need to be replaced very often. For example, the hub, I only have to change the oil every 5,000 kilometers or so. But then I also know how to do some stuff myself, of course, like change the brake pads or fix different types of things like punctures for the tubeless tires. But there's many things about fixing a bicycle I don't know how to do. But I've got to say, along the way, and this seems like another one, I've met many bike shops and mechanics who do a really good job. And I thought about it a lot before starting the trip. But in the end, I decided no, I just wanted to do it by myself. And the main reason for that is because when you're by yourself, you're much more inclined to meet people and have experiences with people you don't know. If you travel with your friend or your girlfriend or partner or whatever, you're always talking to each other and it's less likely that you're going to speak to the other people. And also if you're traveling as a group, people are less likely to speak to you. So, and yeah, it's got its downsides because sometimes, you know, it can be a little bit lonely, but you know, for the most part, I've not been lonely. The other side of it is when it comes to making decisions, the only person I have to ask is me, which is great, but it also means if I make a bad decision, the only person I can blame is also me. So it's like a double-edged sword. From Mashhad, I'm going to head southeast and then sort of south.
South Khorasan.
Well, I'm going to Nishabur, Sabzavar, up the Boj Nord, Gorgan. So I'm going to the Caspian Sea area and the jungle sort of, so Sari, then probably into Tehran. From there, I will probably take a bus or a train down to Bandar Abbas, where it'll be gloriously warm because it's been cold for ages. It's been cold for like 3 months now. So I've seen the weather down in Bandar Abbas, it's really nice. So I'll maybe take a train down there and then cycle back up towards Shiraz.
Bandar Abbas and Shiraz is warmest.
Yeah.
In the cold seasons.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I want to go there. And then I'll head back north to the cold of, you know, towards Tabriz and into Kurdistan, Iraq. Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. And I'd also like to say, if you have a dream about cycling, definitely make it happen because it is truly amazing. And I think bike touring is the best way to see the world if you can do it. So, thanks. Mercy.
If my bike shop is good?
Yeah, for sure. I came here because my friend Daniel recommended it. And do you know Daniel?
Reza.
And Reza, well, Reza helped me. Man, it was good. I needed my front brake bled, which is great. Got that done very quickly. But then my stove that I used to cook my dinner had some problems. And Reza was the man. He helped me pull this wire out that was jammed so hard. I took a piece of my skin off doing it, but we got the job done. So the people here have been amazing. This is a great bike shop and everybody's been super friendly. Giving water, giving tea, I've had food, I've had little gifts. It's been really nice. It's a great shop.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mamloon, Merci,
Merci.
and
Çakırız.
Çakırız. But really, thank you very much. It's been amazing. It's been really nice, and like I said, I knew so much from other people that Iran was going to be an amazing place, and I've only been here for 1 week, and it's already been amazing. So I can't wait to see the rest of this country.
We love you.
Thank you. I love you too.